Now, the last time I used an iPhone was iPhone 4, and that was way back in 2010. And if I remember correctly, around 2012, I actually switched to a Samsung, and I've been with the Android ecosystem ever since. So for the past 8 years, I've actually been using an Android phone, alright? And this is actually the first time in 8 years whereby I'm switching back to the iPhone. Hi everyone, this is Johnny here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'll be actually sharing my thoughts on using the iPhone 12 mini for the past 1 month as my daily. And hopefully, my opinion about this phone will be able to help you to decide whether is this the right phone for you. But of course, before we get into today's topic, it'll be great if you can actually smash that like button, okay, the thumbs up button, and subscribe to my channel if you like my content. Now, in terms of design wise, this is really one small phone, as you can see here. Like if I will put it against my palm, it's really very small. The screen, if you look at the screen here, it's only 5.4 inch, like from top to bottom, from the corner to the corner. And in terms of weight, it's actually really light. I've actually have a casing here. Probably I'll just remove the casing first so that it's much better. Now, the color I got for the iPhone 12 mini is the 128 GB, alright, internal storage 128 GB, and the color is blue in color, alright. Now, the side of the phone, the side of the phone is actually wrapped all around in aluminum, front and back in glass. It's actually wrapped in Gorilla Glass, and if I remember correctly, that is an additional layer of what Apple called it as ceramic shield, whereby it actually enhances the toughness of the glass, claimed to be like 4 times stronger than any other iPhones, right? But after I used this phone for the past 1 month, I can say that this phone is not as small as I expected, and in fact, I would say it's all thanks to its edge-to-edge display. I mean, you look at here, edge-to-edge. Usually, when we think of small phones, in fact, at least on my mind, it will instantly go to phones like, iPhone 5, iPhone 4, the iPhone SE, or, the Sony Xperia, XZ, But the main difference is that those phones, they actually have very massive bezels on the top and bottom. If some of you own, like iPhone SE, you will know what I'm talking about. It has huge bezels at the top and bottom, and it actually makes the screen much smaller. Now, which is why I feel that the screen is one thing which makes this phone, this iPhone 12 mini, stands out, among all. Because firstly, it doesn't have any bezel, and in such a small form factor, it actually has a big screen. Now, speaking of size, right, the iPhone 12 mini, it feels awesome in the hand, and especially if you always like to put your phone in your jeans, like whether it's in the front pocket or in the back pocket, honestly speaking, maybe you can ask yourself, when was the last time you actually slipped a slim phone into your pocket, and kind of forgot it's actually there. That was my feeling, or rather that is my feeling, when I was using the iPhone 12 mini for the past 1 month. It's like a lot of times I would say is that when I slip the phone into my pocket, I actually had to like touch my pocket, like 1 or 2 times just to make sure it's there. Or sometimes, when I just slip it in and I just walk off, I just have to touch it to make sure that it's there. That's how slim it is. Another thing I like about the size is that whenever I'm going for evening jogs, I wear jogging shorts with pockets, and it's great that when I slip this into my pocket, it's not as huge, and because of its small size, it doesn't swing around. It does not swing around so much, in my pocket, which is very nice, compared to when I was using, a huge phone. I don't feel very comfortable in putting them in my pocket, but that's not the case for the iPhone 12 mini. Now, the square edges in my option is another design which really makes the iPhone 12 mini stands out, you know, among other compact phones which I have actually used and tried in the past. It really helps a lot when it comes to, you know, gripping it, you know, when you're holding it in your arm, you know, I never feel that, you know, this phone is actually going to slip out of my hand. Even if I were to put on a case, it looks nice. You know, it doesn't feel the additional weight. It's not, you know, it's not going to make it too bulky. Now, due to the small form factor and the edge-to-edge display, you know, one thing is back. One-hand operation. This is something which I truly miss, you know, ever since the iPhone 4, all right? And in fact, it's something I really missed ever since I switched to Android, because due to the large bezel, you know, the top and bottom bezel, the huge phone, it's impossible to operate phones with one hand nowadays. You know, you really have to use it with both hands, or even if you try, you know, to use your current phones with one hand, you'll like be you know, it's like you'll be like balancing your phone on the tip of your fingers, and then you try to move your thumbs around, and then after that, you know, you will worry that your phone will just slip out of your hand. But that's not the case with iPhone 12 mini, because if you look here, I can actually touch all four corners. You know, if you look at how I put my hands, you know, how I move my hands around. So it actually make it very easy. You know, you want to pull down, you know, the notification center, you want to pull down the control center. It's actually very easy. You know, you will be able to grip the phone in your hand, and then you can just swipe it down, swipe it up again, all right? And you can literally, you know, do your everyday task, you know, with just one hand. And that's, it's really, you know, amazing, all right? Now, I don't really have large hands, so like what I do, this is how the phone looks like in my hand, all right? Looks very small. Now, besides that, I would say the overall quality of this screen is breathtaking. I mean, on the iPhone 12 mini, it's actually the OLED display, you know, and, you know, among any iPhones, you know, the iPhone 12 mini actually has the highest pixel density, you know, at 476 pixels per inch. It's actually the highest density right now, and which is absolutely wild, you know, considering it's such a small form factor. All right. Now, even though it actually doesn't serve us much space, you know, which attribute, you know, to the high density, it's still unbelievable to have an OLED display panel. Now, in terms of typing, I have to admit that, you know, compared to using bigger phones, like larger phones, like, you know, Huawei P40, the Oppo Reno, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, typing on the iPhone 12 mini, you know, did take, you know, some adjusting for me, you know, considering that, you know, on larger phones I have more width, all right, so the keyboard, every key, it's more spaced out, all right. It did actually took me some time to adjust to it, but, you know, it's not as bad, you know, as I remembered typing on iPhone 4, all right, whereby I still remember back then I always have a lot of typo error, and I really need to look at my keyboard. But, you know, for iPhone 12 mini, it's not as bad. But of course, you know, I would still say that I still make mistakes. I won't say that I won't make mistakes, because for me, I have a rather large thumb, you know, so sometimes I do make some errors here and there, especially on the edges, all right, like, you know, the backspace and the enter. Sometimes I will still make that kind of error, but it's fine. Now, when it comes to gaming and media, you know, if you actually intend to use the iPhone 12 mini for gaming, or to use it as, you know, your main source of media consumption, I would actually seriously recommend you to stay away from the iPhone 12 mini and go for its bigger cousins instead, you know, like the iPhone 12 or the iPhone 12 Pro or the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But of course, it's due to obvious reasons. In terms of the speaker, it's absolutely fine. They're loud, they're clear, the audio quality is fantastic even at maximum volume given its size, but it's exactly due to its small size, which is why I actually strongly recommend anyone to stay away from the mini if you intend to use it for media consumption, even though the screen is edge to edge, because it's really small. All right, just imagine, you're playing it and then your thumbs are here. Just imagine you're playing Apex Legend, or you're playing Fortnite, or you're playing any competitive games like PUBG. This is how much screen you left. When it comes to taking images, there are two things to take note here when using the iPhone 12 mini. This is especially something which I noticed after I switched from Android to iPhone. Now, the first one is actually optical zoom. Now, if you're someone who is actually used to using phones with optical zoom, like some of you here, you might be using like the Huawei, or you're using the OnePlus, phones which actually comes with optical zoom, you wouldn't be very satisfied with the imagery quality on the iPhone 12 due to the lack of optical zoom. And of course, the thing is that whenever you tap on the X, you can switch from 1x, 1.0x to 0.5x, thanks to the ultra wide lens. But again, if you're used to using phones with telephoto lens, or telephoto camera lens, you won't be used to the lens here on the mini, as the image will look rounded, along the edges, and certain shots may have a weird effect on it. All right. So now the second situation here, it's the low light situation. When you're taking certain photos or videos using the iPhone 12 mini in low light situation, there's actually a distinct difference, in terms of the quality compared to like iPhone 12 Pro or iPhone 12 Pro Max. The same goes for portrait. To go for portrait shot is actually much better on the Pro and the Pro Max, right? But still, for such a small size, the mini is actually still able to take amazing photos. I'm not giving it any discount, right? And video actually, because it has actually the same dual setup as the iPhone 12, right? And basically all the important features which are found in the Pro and Pro Max. One main factor to consider when you are actually looking at the iPhone 12 mini is the battery size. All right. Now, if you haven't seen my iPhone 12 mini real day in a live video, whereby I actually tested out this phone for an entire day, to test its battery life, its endurance, and its performance, I included the link below, so do check it out. Now, the battery size of the iPhone 12 mini is 2227 milliamps, and rather small compared to its bigger cousins like the iPhone 12, the Pro and the Pro Max. And in fact, when I was using this phone casually from day to night, I'm actually able to get through the day, without charging the mini. And usually I'll end the day with like 10 or 15% left. But if you are a power user, like I mentioned earlier, whereby you tend to like play games, do social media, videos, etc., you still want to get the mini, you would definitely have to charge it. I would say you would definitely have to charge the mini at least once in the middle of the day, so that, otherwise it will actually just die, right? The battery life would actually just die on you. But this is actually not the case with the Pro Max, or the Pro, as I was actually able to get through easily, the entire day without charging my phone even once. All right, but still, despite its small size, I have to say that it's actually able to dish out, impressively good performance, as compared to its bigger cousins, and this is actually all thanks to, Apple, putting in the A14 Bionic chip, and it has very similar specs to iPhone 12, which I would say is actually not found, in many small form factors phone or compact phones available in the market today. Because a lot of times I've actually been considering to actually switch to a compact phone for the last 2 years. But it's something that intrigues me is I would say there's always a couple of factors which has been holding me back And one of it is actually performance, because when I look at a lot of small form factor phones or compact phones out in the market today, I always have to settle for a slower processor. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a small phone, so I need to compromise for a slower processor because it's a smaller phone. There's lesser space. I have to compromise for performance. I need to use a lousier chip. But that's not the case over here for the iPhone 12 mini. All right. So at the end of the day, should you consider the mini? Well, the thing is this: if you're looking for a true one-hand operating phone, which is designed like the iPhone 4 or the iPhone 5, but it has the most current specs, incredible OLED display, and an awesome camera, then I would say is the iPhone 12 mini is an easy choice, and it's actually a very worthy upgrade from any budget or any mid-range smartphone. Now, as long as you don't mind, losing that bit of battery life, then I would say, the mini is definitely worth the money. Now, if you ask me, for me personally, would I continue to use the mini? The answer is definitely yes. There's a few reasons. Firstly is, like I mentioned earlier, is I've actually been considering to switch to a compact phone, to move away from larger phones, as I feel that phones are getting larger and larger. I want to have a smaller phone, which brings back to iPhone 4, and that's when the iPhone 12 mini came along. And the second reason is that I don't really game that much on my phones. Even when I was on Android, I don't really game as much. Not only that, I don't really use it, as my main media consumption. All right. It's not to say that I don't watch videos on it. I don't do any kind of of video watching, but it's just that I don't watch videos on my phone for long durations. So I actually mainly use it for texting, for calling, for emails, for web browsing, for of course some social media. All right. And of course the occasional photo and video taking, and plus, like I said earlier, I've actually been screaming for a phone, for a modern day version of the iPhone 4. All right, so there you have it. All right, those are my thoughts on the iPhone 12 mini after what I feel like it's a month of daily usage. All right, ever since I switched from Android to iPhone. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please smash the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive the latest notification on my upcoming videos. Right now, besides that, do leave your thoughts or even a small review in the comment section below. Let me know how has the mini been for you. Are they worth the switch? And make sure you let me know in the comment section below. And of course, for me, I've been using the mini for the past 1 month as my daily, and I will still continue to use it, for many months and many years to come. So if you have any questions regarding the phone, which you'd like me to answer, do leave it in the comment section as well, and I will actually do my best to actually get back to you. So anyway, guys, that's all the time we have today. My name is Johnny. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.